Third League Radio.
But now we got to talk about AEW All In 2025 from Globe Life Field. And man, before we even get into it, that was the best press experience I've had from anybody. We got a full-on lanyard this time. I was impressed by the lanyard. But when we get up to the Globe Life press box, wow, that was great. They had a 3-tiered setup format as you're seating. But behind you on the walls, they had speakers where you could hear the actual commentary of the show. I thought that was great. And the hospitality room, my goodness, they had they were cooking us little hamburgers and sliders. They had pizza. That was amazing.
Yeah, they put you on like level of importance, I guess, because the first row had their own TVs.
Yeah, the first rows had like display monitors up front. Me on the second row, I could see the hole in the table where the display monitor could be, but it was basically just a wire to run up.
Yeah, that's how the third row was for me. I had to borrow somebody's charger to plug in.
But yeah, the press experience at Globe Life Field was definitely one to talk about. So I want to thank AEW, thank Globe Life. Thank you for taking care of the parking. They sent us to the lot. They said, "Hey, this is where parking can be for you."
Oh my
God! And we're
God.
going to pull into the lot, and it's like $55 to park. And I'm like, "Ooh, that's going to eat a little bit."
when we go up there, we're like, "Hey, we're with press." They let us through. We park. We walk up to the sign. It says plus tax.
Yeah.
What's the tax in Arlington?
Oh, my goodness. But I don't know. That is just getting into this show and getting into there. Once we actually get in, we start to hang out with some of the other media people, get to talk to some of the other media people. So that's always very cool to make connections like that. But we're going to get into the actual pay-per-view. I mean, they opened up seats late. Well, I don't know, a couple days before, it was looking like 23,000, something like that. Closer to 29,000 people in attendance for this show. Last minute surge. But it would start off with a match where, I don't know, this match would foreshadow something that would happen in the last match. But the World Trios title was on the line to start off the main show as the Ops would defeat the Death Riders, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, and Gabe Kidd.
I did not think this was going to happen. I don't know. I get why, and I just really thought the Death Riders were going to get the title and then do the beatdown on Joe.
You don't want the Death Riders with the title yet. You want to have a bit of a longer feud with the Ops in this sense. You want to kind of give Powerhouse Hobbs and Samoa Joe, you want to have them as building blocks for Gabe Kidd, if that makes sense. I mean, not just Gabe Kidd, but Yuta, Kidd, Castagnoli, implanting Gabe Kidd into Pac's spot in the Death Riders without actually taking
Pac's hurt, right?
Yeah.
And, it's really just to enforce Gabe Kidd as a member of the Death Riders. They used to call him the hired gun. Now they're putting him as actual member of the Death Riders, which is really cool. And yeah, I think this was just a match to kind of cement that and to get their team kind of known by the fans. The Ops do get the chokeout victory, but what happened after?
Yeah, well, basically it was just a beat down on everybody. The main part to take away from it is basically wrapping the chair around Samoa Joe's head and stomping on it and having him stretchered out of the building. That was the big move from Claudio right there. That would be foreshadowing something a little bit later. But then we would move on to the Casino Gauntlet match, where I think I was pretty much thinking this way.
More returns instead of debuts.
Yeah, but there was a big return we'll talk about during the match. But I was kind of thinking this was how it was gonna play out. But MJF would be the ultimate victor. He would get the pin on Anthony Bowens, so he would become the winner and the number one contender. The big return was Bo Dallas, or Juice Robinson without a beard. He really
God,
favored.
That was weird.
He really favored Bo Dallas. I mean, normally I'm not a guy to tell you what to do with your facial hair, but Juice, you got to grow the beard back, sir. You got to get it back. But no, there was a lot of people in this match. Mystico showed up in this match. Got a huge pop.
Yeah, number 3 was Ricochet. Everyone started yelling bald. I mean, it was the loudest bald I've ever heard in my life. I mean, that was insane. Number 4 was Bandito. That was interesting. Mm-hmm. Bandito's trying to get the AEW World title. How would you book that?
I don't know who number 5 was, but I know my favorite chant of the night.
Takeshita.
Yeah, Takeshita.
Right,
there.
so this happened in both matches where something happened or someone came out that directly led to the next participant, which was really cool because it's supposed to be like a random, people just go out. So it's like Bandito went out there and Takeshi's like, no, I'm gonna go out there.
Yeah.
But number 6 was Mystico because MJF was trying to pull off Bandito's mask and Mystico got mad.
Out. Yeah. But I like how they're not there is no set time limit. It could be 30 seconds between wrestlers. It could be 3 minutes between wrestlers. That's
whenever you just wait. The point of it is like it's whoever wants to come into the match. But once they get up to the door, like they can't just run out. You have to wait 10 seconds and then they'll let you go.
But this is what we've been talking about for weeks. My favorite chant of the night, Max Caster comes out and he tells everybody, let's chant, let's go, Max, you're the best wrestler alive. And the crowd chants along with him. This is what I mean. Baby faces have to stop answering his open challenges. It has to be heels. And he has to lose because we're at that moment where you can turn it and you can make Max Caster a really big face. And you can go whatever direction you want after that.
And Anthony Bowens is going to get all pissed and turn heel because no one cares about the 5-tool player.
See, that would be a great story.
It's because he's too David Otunga. It just doesn't work. It's a character that kills your career that he's doing on purpose.
But in an emotional moment of the night, Adam Cole would come out. Roderick Strong would Roderick Strong was in the gauntlet match. He would stay around ringside as Cole was walking out. Kyle O'Reilly would come with him. And, this was a real moment from Adam Cole. You could see the emotion in him. You could see him holding back the tears as he said, I have to go away for a long time. I don't know if I'm ever going to be back. And reports have come out later that lead me to believe maybe it's concussion related and he keeps getting concussions just because of the way, no one actually said that word, but the way those reports were worded, how he wasn't feeling well in the week, he couldn't get cleared any other time. They finally made the decision to take it off of him. I think that means he's going in for testing. He's going to try to figure out what is going on up there and why he keeps getting concussions. That's again, you don't want to, put your own words into that situation, but that's just my take on what I'm reading on that.
Yeah, that does make sense, and you don't want it to just keep getting worse. They wouldn't have cleared him to wrestle anyway, but yeah.
But then that would lead to the TNT title 4-way match for the interim TNT championship, where this was the surprise of the night for me. Dustin Rhodes would defeat Daniel Garcia, Kyle Fletcher, and Sammy Guevara in 14 minutes, 23 seconds, of course, getting the pin on Daniel Garcia. I was fully expecting Kyle Fletcher. Yeah. I think half the audience was fully expecting Kyle Fletcher.
I think the whole audience. And I think if Adam Cole was healthy, I think Fletcher would have got it.
Yeah.
But I think once they found out that they had to take it off Adam Cole, because I don't think this was a decision that was made on Saturday.
No.
But once they realized they had to take it off of Adam Cole, they thought of something else, and I think it was the right decision, and it was to give Dustin Rhodes 3 belts.
Dustin got screwed over in a lot of his career by Vince McMahon, but Dustin made Goldust work when Goldust was supposed to be I don't want to say a punishment, because the polka dots weren't a punishment for his dad when Dusty changed the polka dots. But I don't think Vince ever really respected the Rhodes family. Dustin Rhodes had I mean, okay, Clash of Champions started to counter-program against WrestleMania. They gave Clash of Champions away for free when we had to pay for WrestleMania. So I think there was a little bit of...
Dusty Rhodes was the reason WCW was big.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of... There's always been a little bit of hesitation between them until Cody Rhodes and Vince fully bought into Cody. But having said that, the natural Dustin Rhodes was my favorite as a kid. I had no idea he was Goldust until I heard him talk. And then I was like, oh, wait, hold on. Is that... So when I saw this, I cheered with everybody in the crowd. I mean, everybody was happy Dustin got it. I get it, Texas boy. But there was a little bit more to it for me than that.
Yeah, I mean, I was clapping. Everybody was clapping. We were all cheering. It was a great moment. And he was legitimately crying.
Oh, yeah. Definitely was. I mean, you could tell that was an emotional moment for him.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say what you want about a television title, but... something like that really does mean things
to
people.
He was never really champion when he was just Dustin Rhodes.
Well, I mean, he was a television champion in WCW, but he left WCW for probably more money offered from Vince, and Vince just never let him be Dustin Rhodes again. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Never let him be the natural. And I think that was one of his best characters, the natural Dustin Rhodes. Now he's got kind of a mix where he wears half the face paint, almost like a callback to Goldust. He still wears that kind of suit that Goldust wore, only different, but he's still the natural. So he's showing the both sides of himself, I guess. But yeah, that was definitely a surprise of the night for me. This match, the next match, probably in the top 3 for me of the night. You know what? Hold on. Before we get into that, I haven't heard a bad review of this show. The only thing I've heard is, well, the show was long. I haven't heard a bad review of the show until earlier today when I read Forbes. Forbes, the financial magazine, said, All In Texas, a bad pay-per-view saved by a great main event. And I thought, what the hell are they watching? That's not... What are they watching? And then I realized, oh, they are very conservative. They're highly Republican. They're friends with Vince McMahon. They still have some type of relationship with WWE. I'm like, that's why that report was written. Okay, I got you. It's a busted open situation. So other than that, I haven't seen a bad review written on this show.
No.
But like I was saying, this match, the tag team match, Swerve Strickland, Will Ospreay taking on the Young Bucks with the EVP titles on the line for the Young Bucks. If they lose the titles.
This was a 6-star match.
This match was in my top 3 matches of the night. This was a great match. I met a guy from K104 in Dallas, hip-hop station, Ron. He was sitting next to me. It was his second, maybe third wrestling show ever. Watching this guy react to this match was amazing. It was a very cool thing to see. He had actually just gotten to interview Swerve and I think Ricochet he was talking about a little bit earlier. So it was cool to see him kind of react to this match. Everything about this match was good with me. Even, I mean, you can tell, okay, they choreographed this and they had a certain plan they wanted to synchronize here. All that just worked. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's cringe. All of it worked.
That spot where they, the Bucks double Canadian destroyered Ospreay and Swerve, and then they both hulked up and hit them with their finishers.
Yeah.
At the same time, that was awesome.
That live experience from the crowd when all this was going on too.
They did their own version of a TK driver with a stomp, and then Ospreay tombstoned one of the Jacksons. It was just violent. You were like, there's no way they're going to kick out and they're going to lose and they can't challenge the title. And they really made you care. Like, everyone didn't want to see them lose, even though it would probably lead to a feud between them. That would be awesome. But no one wanted to see them lose. And the Young Bucks played their role perfectly. The entrance was a little long for the Young Bucks. They kind of sat there on the boat for a while.
Okay. They come out in the Founding Fathers gear, and they walk over to a scissor lift that's been made into a boat, like Washington crossing the Delaware. And then they drive the lift all the way around. They raise it up, so they're like standing in the boat looking out over this sea of people. Then they finally lower it back down. They're out and they walk to the ring. I mean, definitely an interesting entrance, to say the least.
Well, the Swerve and Ospreay entrances also took a long time. Like, I think the entrances together, it took like 15 minutes.
Yeah, well, you had
Swerve or
JoJo singing the Shaka Khan song that Strickland used to come out to on the Indies.
Yeah.
You had her out there singing that personally. They had a lot of live musicians on the show.
Yeah, and they had Ospreay with his Assassin's Creed sponsorships again. Mm-hmm. But the match itself was amazing. I rated it 6 stars. Swerve took the bullet for Ospreay, just like Ospreay did for him, and they ended up winning the match, doing a house call and a hidden blade at the same time, which is kind of hard to do.
And you never, I mean, there were so many false finishes, you never knew where the end was coming from. Mm-hmm. That's one of the things that made it surprising. Sometimes when you get into so many false finishes and all that, it can be, I can kind of wear it on the match. This one just added to it. You know, it was a very good
the Bucks
match.
don't want to lose their EVP status.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to kick out of everything, and they're going to, I mean, it was just a culmination of weeks of built-up anger, and they did it well.
But then we'll move on to the women's casino gauntlet match. Couple of debuts in this one, as Alex Windsor would debut. Mm-hmm. But there was another one we just saw on, what was it, Wednesday?
Fury.
Well, I mean, we just saw that she was coming on, what, Wednesday?
Yeah.
And then she shows up on Saturday.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, she was in, what, maybe 4th or 5th entrant. I'm not really sure where she was at in the entrance, but when she comes out, I pop immediately. I'm talking to someone from Texas Lifestyle magazine. This is actually her first wrestling show. She's a wrestling fan, a TNA fan. She didn't know who she was, so I'm having to like pop while giving her a lesson, a little bit of what I know who she is coming out. But yeah, that was a very cool surprise.
Yeah, have you ever seen her? Watch her. I mean, it's a little hard to kind of get a feel for someone in a gauntlet match that's kind of Rumble style, but you see if you can't find one of her singles matches. She has a match with Utami Hayashishita, which is actually, I think, the highest rated women's match since the 90s. It's 5.5, so.
Now, I don't know if the biggest pop of the night came with the end of the match here, but it was definitely in the top 2, because Athena would pin the debuting Alex Windsor and become the #1 contender. The local girl Athena, the North Texas native.
I thought this decision right here guaranteed a title change in the women's world title because of the feud you have Mercedes and Athena, and she could sign that contract at any moment and cash in on Mercedes. So,
but yeah, this was 27 minutes, and as soon as Athena got that pin, the place erupted.
Yeah.
If there's 29,000 people in there, all 29,000 of them were on their feet, standing up. Especially the guy. Okay, in press row, we try to keep it a little bit professional. We don't cheer like we are if we're just sitting in the stands, you know? Except the guy behind, like, 2 people down from you. Obviously his first time in the press.
Yeah.
I mean, we do cheer, we do clap, we do pop, you know, but not as much as if we were in a regular
I
box
think
seat.
he noticed by, like, the... he noticed.
Yeah. But when we get into the end of this match, the guys from Bleacher Report they're on the front tier. I'm on the second tier, but they're kind of right in front of me. When Athena wins this, they jump up and pop like they're kids in the front row, man. It was cool to see, very exciting to see. But everyone was happy that Athena got this win. And I think they knew she was going to win. Of course, they knew she was going to win this match, but they knew how the crowd was going to react when she did. So I think that's why she wasn't the main event of the night before Ring of Honor. But yeah, in the press conference afterwards, someone asked her about the Goldberg match going on that night, and she goes, "Who?" And then the guy goes, "Good answer." Yeah, I tried to play it off, and she goes, Who? No, seriously. She goes off on this whole rant about everything she's done and she's done. She's like, I don't care what else is happening. I loved that answer. I really did, because...
Why would you ask that?
Yeah, I don't know why
so
you would ask
Athena,
that.
like, hey, the Goldberg match was happening right when your match was in.
And she was like, I don't care. I love that. Because honestly, Gunther carried Goldberg to a pretty good match from what I hear.
Oh, yeah.
But nothing Goldberg does will ever be as good as any Athena match ever.
I didn't watch it either. There's no way Goldberg can lift Gunther, so it had to be just plodding around and Gunther dominating.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. But... because I don't watch WWE, but I do know that nothing Goldberg has done will be as good as anything Athena has or will do. Has done or will do. But then we'll move on to... well, but there's still 4 more matches on this show. We're moving on to the World Tag Team title, the 3-way match. The Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, along with MJF MVP. They would defeat Jet Speed, Kevin Knight, and Mike Bailey. And the Patriarchy, Christian Cage and Nick Wayne, along with Kip Sabian and Mother Wayne at ringside. You know what? You can talk about this match. It was a decent match. Hurt Syndicate definitely deserved to win. It went almost 19 minutes, 18:59. But what happened after the match is really more interesting, at least for me to talk about, because FTR jumps in the ring. FTR is at commentary for this match because obviously they want to be the next contenders for the title. Well, FTR jumps in the ring. Christian Cage is laying out. And FTR looks like they're going to attack Christian Cage. Right? Here comes Nick Wayne. Here comes Kip Sabian. They step in. They're like, no, 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 no. Cage is finally up. He pushes them out of the way. And they have a little bit of words. And Cage is like, come on, guys, let's go. Christian's like, let's go. He's trying to get out of the ring. And as he does, Nick Wayne pulls him back in. Nick Wayne hits the kill switch. He turns on Christian. Mother Wayne is laughing her ass off.
So are FTR. They're like, hey, look at that.
FTR's a little bit shocked at first. They're like, oh, and then they join in. And, I mean, Mother Wayne, I don't remember if Nick's holding Christian or if it's Kip holding Christian. I think it's Nick holding him up, and Mother Wayne just comes up and slaps the piss out of him. And Kip Sabian gets a chair, lays it down, puts Christian on top of it, hands the chair to Nick Wayne. And as Nick Wayne's standing over Christian, smiling, reveling in what he's about to do, here comes the music. Adam Copeland returns. And you can talk about Jeff Hardy fist pumping as he's trying to make his way to make the save. Adam Copeland goes over in front of the crowd.
He ran to that side. He ran to this side. He had pyro. Yeah. He stood there for the pyro. He looked at the crowd. And Nick Wayne's just sitting there like,
what do I do? You beat the man with the chair as he's coming in. But he comes in, he makes the save, and Adam Copeland grabs the microphone. And where Christian once told Adam Copeland to go fuck yourself, Adam Copeland gets the mic and says, go find yourself. And then walks away, leaves him there, thus setting up for, I'm guessing, All Out. Christian Cage, Adam Copeland taking on FTR. I think that.
No, they're gonna.
I think that's what's.
They're
gonna
take on Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian.
You think so?
Yeah, that'll be way more fun.
Yeah, I think they might build to that, but I think the ultimate thing that they're gonna do is, because all those guys are friends. All those 4 guys. That's gonna be a really good match. Mm-hmm. Because I don't know, that's gonna be awesome. I think that's what they're gonna ultimately build to. Of course, they're gonna have the Kip Sabian and Nick Wayne match.
I think what's gonna happen is FTR defeats the Hurt Syndicate for the tag titles. Then they lose the titles to Edge and Christian.
If you have FTR lose the titles to Cage and Copeland, yeah, I can see that working.
Because you can't have Hurt Syndicate lose to Cage and Copeland.
No, you can't. But, I mean, yeah, this is a really stacked tag division. We'll see how that plays out.
I do think eventually Copeland and Cage get the tag titles, even for just a little bit. Maybe that's how they retire. I don't think they're even close to retirement yet. But, I mean, they're like 55.
Cage definitely not.
No,
I mean,
they're
maybe Copeland closer than Cage, but Cage
Copeland does look great. I mean, he was spearing people like no business. He healed that ankle well.
Yeah.
After doing something fucking stupid.
Yeah, Adam Copeland's got to remember that he's not as young as he once was.
He tried to do an elbow drop from the top of the cage onto Buddy Matthews, who was just on a table. That's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
There's nothing breaking your fall.
Well, I mean, Christian wrestles safely for his age, even though he does put the work in. Adam Copeland can maybe stand to learn a little bit from that. But then we'll move on to one of the 3 main events, the first of 3 main events.
Well, Cage is also taller than Copeland, so he has to work a little different.
The women's world title, Toni Storm taking on Mercedes Moné. We had disagreed about this. I mean, in the weeks leading up to it. I said Toni Storm was going to retain. You were saying Mercedes Moné was going to retain. And as the match is going on, or Mercedes Moné was going to win. As the match was going on, I was agreeing more with you. And then, no. Toni Storm comes away victorious.
She kicked out of 3 Storm Zeros in a row, and the match heavily favored Mercedes. But
I think that's what you got to do, because when you have somebody like Mercedes who keeps winning and winning and winning, the pop Toni Storm got when she won, that was good.
Yeah, and she won with a Storm Zero from the top rope, which looked insane.
Oh, it did, yeah. But that was 25 minutes, 11 seconds. Toni Storm retaining in that one. She is, well, Athena is, she's, her and Athena are set to clash, I think. And this is where I think Athena wins the title and goes on to challenge Moné, because Athena feels she has been underlooked. This is my take on it. Athena feels she has been underlooked. She is the forever champion. She is a double Ring of Honor world champ, or double champion, Ring of Honor, AEW world champion, if she does at this point. And then she challenges Mercedes for all of her titles. Somebody's going to be the ultimate champion, whether it's Athena, whether it's Mercedes. Someone's going to be the forever champion.
That's going to be interesting, I think. I mean,
that's what I think is going to happen.
It could lead to that.
But then we'll move on to what I thought was a really well-done, story-driven match between 2 people who I'm not used to seeing story-driven matches in. The Continental Champion, Kazuchika Okada, taking on the International Champion, Kenny Omega, for the AEW Unified title. This match was a story of Kenny Omega, I don't want to say self-realization of he's not at the level he once was, but that's basically the story they told. Okada attacked Kenny's abdomen area, his stomach area, getting the effects of the diverticulitis. Mm-hmm. He was working that pretty well.
And
now Kenny,
he paced the match slow because he knew that Kenny, if he just worked the abdomen, Kenny couldn't keep up with him anymore. Eventually, he would be able to just grab a pin.
And a lot of that plays off of real life. It plays off of their other series of matches, but it plays off Kenny Omega, really, the diverticulitis. The type of wrestling Kenny Omega does, where, I mean, he's using a lot of his core. He is, it's different than the way Brock Lesnar wrestles. Brock Lesnar could come back from the diverticulitis and wrestle the same way. Kenny can't. So they took that real life aspect and played it into the story of the match, which I thought was very well done. I mean, it's not going to get a 7-star like their last one did, but this match, I think, is underlooked by a lot of people simply because a lot of the other matches on the card. A lot of the people maybe don't understand the story of the match as well because they didn't see the other matches that these two have had. But this was a very good match. Went 31 minutes.
I think most people were just expecting, you got Kenny and you got Okada, but I don't think a lot of people are taking into account how the diverticulitis is going to work into stories. And it's like,
yeah, I mean, this is a very good match. I mean, when I say story match, a lot of people maybe because of my own fault, think I'm talking about a match like Rock and Hogan. That match was not good. I mean, it was just, hey, I'm going to tell a story with as little match moves as possible. They stared at each other for 5 minutes at a time. I'm not meaning that kind of story match. They still worked. They still put in the work. There was still a good match, but it was mainly a story match. It was not like the 7-Star Classic that everybody's thinking of.
Mm-mm.
But Okada would win, and this is interesting. I had heard a few different things about how, well, you can carry 3 belts, you can carry 1 belt if you want, but
They decided to go with the 1.
yes, and since Okada won and was the Continental Champion, the unified title will be defended under Continental rules, which means 20-minute time limits, strict no interference
They
policies.
say this?
Yes, this was a Tony Khan at the press conference.
So that's how they're doing it. So if the Continental Champion won, then the unified title is under Continental rules.
Yes, and will be defended in the Continental Classic.
Okay.
But now on to the main event. Man, if you're a WWE fan, the best way I can describe this main event, it is a mixture of Cody finishing the story and Undertaker throwing Mick Foley off of the cell. It is a combination of that. It was brutal, it was bloody, it was violent, and it was also beautiful in every way, man. Mox bringing out the bed of nails, DDT.
But they didn't just throw stuff at the wall, though.
No, it was all planned and it was all made sense in the story. Like I was going to say, Mox bringing out the bed of nails, and
Back in 2023, they brought out bricks and curb stomped onto bricks, and they did all this stuff, but they didn't have to do that this time.
well, the point I was trying to make with the bed of nails, Mox brings it out. He DDTs Hangman into the bed of nails. He uses it against Hangman, but later on, that would be one of the things that led to Mox losing the match, was that bed of nails. Everything made sense from why it was there, why it was brought in, to why it was used later. Everything worked in this match.
And you had Ospreay come in because all the Death Riders came in, and Hangman can't fight both of them. I mean, he's almost out. And
Ospreay gets taken out the same way, if you remember the start of the show, the same way Samoa Joe did. Basically wrap a chair around his neck, stomp on it, send him out on a stretcher. Other people come in to help, though. Like I said, a combination of Cody finishing his story with people coming in to help him as Bloodline's trying to dismantle him. Death Riders have just beaten Paige at this point.
That's what I was getting at. And they show a video of Darby in Mount Everest on the screen.
Yeah.
Literally, he took a video at Mount Everest, and he's like saying something. I couldn't understand the video.
The speakers were not reaching us at that point.
But then, after that video goes out, we wait a bit, and Darby just comes down.
Well, this is what was strange for me, because Blue Panther, a.k.a. Bryan Danielson, shows up before Darby. Mm-hmm. Remember when the video goes off, you see someone in a blue mask over there, and you're screaming, Blue Panther! And then he starts doing, yes, 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 and then bam, here comes Bryan Danielson, tearing up the Death Riders for kicking him out, putting the bag over his head, making him retire, and then dropping from the, Titantrons above the ring.
What they were going with was that he was coming... He was coming straight from Everest.
Yeah. Darby Allin.
He sat there the whole show.
He had to, because there was no way to get him up there.
Yeah, and you can't ruin something like that by
people seeing him. Yeah.
Someone's gonna see him if you're pulling him up during the match.
I mean that's a 6-hour show.
7.
Well, yeah, if you count the pre-show, yeah.
But he had to,
because he had to be up there. Yeah,
he was probably up there since 10 a.m. since setup.
They had to give him some snacks.
Yeah, he was probably on his phone. He had a portable charger.
Oh man,
headphones, watching. Maybe they gave him an Xbox up there. Maybe he was playing the new Tony Hawk game.
But yeah, Darby comes out and everything, and then still, it's not enough. Marina Shafir, John Moxley gives her the keys to go get the briefcase. Because he's going to get the briefcase or get the title out, I think, and just whack Hangman with it. And she grabs the briefcase, but as soon as she does, she can't get away because she's been locked in handcuffs. Someone had handcuffed her. And
yeah, someone was under the desk. And when she came by, because she had a chain with her, and when she came by, they must have grabbed some handcuffs, put that onto the chain, and then put the other part of the handcuff onto the table because she couldn't get out.
Yep, and who was it? It was Prince Nana. Prince Nana shows up out from under the desk. He starts dancing, and then you look, and Swerve is walking down. His hand is wrapped in a chain. He takes out the Death Riders, takes out Yuta, takes out Claudio, and then stares at Hangman. Hangman's in the ring. Swerve's on the outside, and Swerve just tosses the chain in. Hangman. Then hold on, let me back up because Hangman tries to get. I was going to go right to the finish, but Hangman tries to hang Moxley from the ring first. Moxley just falls on his butt on the apron and rolls under the bottom ring.
Yep, and then he has the chain.
At this time, remember when I talked about the bed of nails earlier?
Yep.
Hangman's on the outside. Mox is turning around. What's Hangman's move? Buckshot lariat. Bam. Flips over the ring. Buckshot lariat to Mox, who falls directly onto the bed of nails.
And that's a terrible spot. I don't know how the fuck he did that. He was screaming in pain the whole time. Oh my god. But then PTSD from Revolution 2023. He wraps that sucker around his neck like 3 times and then throws him over. And he hangs him for longer than he did 2 years ago.
Yeah, And Mox, you know what? I saw how Mox...
he sold that perfectly to get all... to make the feeling of...
Mox was choking a little bit. You could tell by the redness in his face. But a lot of that was selling because if you watch closely, he is seated on the ring apron. A little bit of him is hanging off, but... he's pretty seated on that ring apron because there's no way to mask the chain on his neck. There's no way to take any pain off of that.
I know.
So that's why he's sitting there on that, but he does eventually have to tap out. His face is red. He is choking a little bit, but there were safety measures in there. But then Hangman can't get the briefcase open after he gets the win.
I have to wait a second. I feel like he's thinking... man, can I just leave with the briefcase? I can't get it open. But eventually, he does get it open. And here's a cool little tidbit that I don't know if you noticed. When he pulls the belt out, the plates are the Danielson plates.
Yeah, because it was the same belt. Yeah.
Well, Moxley didn't change it. He just stuffed it
in the briefcase. Exactly. So
not everyone knew that. He just came out with the briefcase. We thought, hey, he put new side plates on and...
yeah, but no, that was... I turned to the guy next to me, Ron, like I was telling you about earlier. This was his maybe second, third show. I can't remember which one. But I leaned in. I said this during the tag match, the Strickland Ospreay Young Bucks tag match. I leaned over and I said to him, they didn't just tell a story right there. They wrote a damn novel. And then during this is amazing me because this is his second or third match. During the Okada Omega match, he leans over me and goes, boy, you was right about them writing novels, aren't you? I'm like, yes, he got the story. That is very cool. I mean, he didn't even know a lot about it, but he could tell the story. I thought that was very cool. But this pay-per-view, I mean, the 6 hour, 7 hour, if you count the pre-show, a little bit long. It did break the record for longest pay-per-view ever, but there was not a bad match on the card. There was not a down moment, really, for me.
No, yeah, it was 2 to 8. That's 6, and then if you had the 12 to 8, so 8 hour show.
Yeah, but it was. I can't. Like I said, I maybe could have shortened the trios title match, but I really can't say I really can't see a problem with any match on the card.
Everything had to be there.
And everything was there for a reason. It wasn't just a match to have a match.
It kept you engaged the whole time.
The entire show. This was an A-plus pay-per-view. Right now, as it stands, it's pay-per-view of the year. We'll see how that goes with Forbidden Door coming up. We'll see how that goes with All Out coming up still. But right now, this is pay-per-view of the year for sure. But that is our look at AEW All In Texas.